The A Show.
Where smart is the new sexy.
And now, April Hunter.
Good evening, legends. Welcome to the A Show, where we are pre-recording. So this is not live, but we might pop in. Due to travel schedules, we're doing this ahead of time. So it's kind of weird that we're not crossing over to check all the comments.
I was just doing that.
It's just us today. It's just us. So we're going to have a fun little show where we're going to talk about what's going on with the light workers. And you might be a see you next Tuesday if. Also, is tipping culture completely out of hand? And we got some life hacks and tips that will benefit you if you don't already know them. There's a lot of them here I didn't know, so there's some good ones. So break right into that. How you doing, Eva? How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm
doing all right, thank you.
Yeah,
it's my Friday.
Yeah, I know. It's a Thursday is your Friday.
Yes.
So lucky you. It's
yes.
I have been tired. Like,
really?
Oh, it's a weird kind of tired, like kind of demotivated, except about certain things. I was watching a video today saying that the main thing to remember in life is to go back and make sure your inner child is entertained. Like, go back and make sure you're playing enough, because that's what recharges your batteries and recharges your light, and it brings the energy to you. And
that's all I want to do right now.
That's what I was going to say. That's all I want to do is do the things that I have passion for. Like, I just want to work around the house. I just want to go outside. I just want to work on the things that make me happy. I don't really want to do anything else. And I had lunch with my friend Pam, and I would love to get her on here. Pam Lord, she's a theta healer and a theta teacher. And I was telling her this, and she said, all the light workers right now are stepping back and taking a break. The energy is different. The earth is shifting. The energy is shifting. And now is the time to come back and recalibrate to the new energy. And I was like, wait, what? So she's like, yeah, we've all spent so much time helping people, fixing people, helping people, bringing them along, that now a lot of people who normally help and fix and bring people up are just like, F this. You all are on your own. We're just going to watch the circus happening. Good luck. I'm going to sit back here underneath a tree and read my book and look at the bees.
Yes, right on.
She goes, I'm seeing it for so many light workers across the board. And if you're a light worker, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know if you're a light worker or not, light workers are people that basically, how do I define that? How would you define that?
Somebody who deals with, is passionate or believes in a higher being. And they're usually people that are nurses and people like that are help other people.
They're healers.
A lot. Healers.
No, it's not nurses. It's
well,
I mean, it can be. Yeah. So I think everybody was born with a one of these things, a barcode.
Right.
And light workers can help you understand yours. So if you stray off the path, they're able to read your barcode and help you get back on your path to your purpose.
Okay. I have a different view of that, but okay.
So this includes card readers, palm readers, numerologists, mediums, psychics, theta healers.
Right.
What's Brian do? He does
quantum physics,
quantum
healing,
quantum healing. Yeah, quantum hypnosis healing, and all that whole entire realm of healers and herders, as I call them.
Right.
So, they can help you with your barcode.
Yes, that's what we put it. Yeah.
That's my simple definition.
Okay.
So
right, that works.
What's yours?
Well, basically, they're people that believe usually in a higher self that tend to look at the more positive things in life too. And they're usually the people that are there for you when you mentally I need to
It
talk
sounds
to
like my
somebody.
grandmother. That sounds like my grandmother.
Yeah, it is. Think of it that way. Yeah, it is. So,
Yeah.
and eventually they run out of steam, and
Yeah.
they need to recharge their batteries too, because it's like having grandkids and you send them home because you can't take it anymore. And you need a break.
I'm talking about light workers, people who
Oh,
work
I
in.
know. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
All right. Okay.
How they're stepping back because they're caretakers or people like
Okay.
that,
Fair
and
enough.
they're stepping back. So, I mean, this is a different analogy.
Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. So all levels of light workers, from grandma to the tarot reader. Yes, they're stepping
Okay.
back from the fray. And she was saying that we are exceptionally fortunate to be alive at this time, that our souls chose to come here during this time, and that we're going through so much change right now. We're going from a third dimension to fourth dimension living, basically. We're changing tremendously. And that's one of the topics I wanted to touch on maybe next week, because we're going to have BRV here, Billy Ray Valentine.
Oh,
He
nice.
loves talking about metaphysical stuff, so I think we'll wait for him on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, she said we're changing, and it's a phenomenal time to be alive, and it's so fascinating to watch. So,
I think it is.
I hear rumbling in the back. Is that a fan?
I just turned the fan on, some sweat.
Oh yeah, you can hear it. Sorry.
All right. Sorry, I'll turn it off.
Put it on your feet.
It doesn't reach down there. It's that one that
Oh,
sits on the
no.
desk.
Put it on your hoo-ha.
Anyway, it was facing that way already. So apparently you're going to hear it no matter what.
There you
So
go.
that's all right.
That's funny. So yeah, she just said we're really fortunate to be alive at this time, and it's fascinating. She was she's not a fan. I didn't think she was a fan of the current administration at all, but she said that her message from the creator is that this is necessary.
Yeah.
Like this, as she called them, a cast of characters. This cast of characters that's in right now, and what's happening is necessary to get us to the next level. We need someone with a jackhammer to get us there, and this has to happen this way. She said might not be the application might not be as good as it could be, but this is where we have to be right now to get to the next level. So as she explained it that way, I was like, I've heard that from several other psychics and light workers as well. They all got that same message, that this is where we have to be right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. And personally, I've been feeling that for a while, and I know I've mentioned it, personally, but that it seems like we need a good 6 months still. Like by the time fall comes around, and fall meaning like September, end of August, September, I feel like we need this time to get through everything that's going on with the jackhammer, and settling back in and figuring out where we got to go, get our grooves back, things like that, because all these things going on tend to affect somebody we know.
Yes,
family
of course.
or friends.
Yeah. I
And
think it's going to take
and-
more like a year, actually, but I
Oh,
hope
yeah.
that you're right and I'm wrong.
I just mean like the negativity and the harshness and dealing with customers is not pretty right now. And
If you remember, and I remember vividly, the first time around, that never stopped for 4 years. The negativity did not stop for the entire time. So I don't have high hopes for that, but I hope that you're right. So
I hope I have too.
yeah, there's just a thing there that people love them or hate them, or there's people like me who don't care one way or another.
Well, it just needs. I agree with you. It needs to happen. Things need to have changed, and maybe they're not doing it right, but we'll have to wait and see where it goes. But I think we're going to be okay.
I hope so. I want to remind people that May 7th is when Real ID kicks in. So make sure you have that up to date, or no more flights. So Florida switched over early, I know. So make sure everything's up to date on there.
So explain what real ID is.
No, you just got to change your license out and make sure it has the real ID stamp. So,
Okay.
yeah. So at the moment, it's too complicated for me, but I know Florida's done it, has done it for a couple of years. So, and if you have any flights coming up, any travel coming up, you can't fly May 7th or after once it's switched over. So, wouldn't want your vacation or your travel plans, or my friend's missing his niece's graduation.
Sorry
because he can't get that switch over quick enough. Now, let me remind you also, I believe this still stands. You can travel with your passport. So I don't know if there's some kind of, prohibition on passports right now, but in my experience, that's always been an acceptable thing to travel with.
It's a legal ID. I mean,
yeah. So
usually though, when you travel, they require you to show your driver's license or photo ID. So yeah,
I never had to do that in Europe or anything. Like passport was fine because so many people don't drive there, and I think we have the same rules. Think about all the people. And well, there's a ton of people: Chicago, Boston, New York. They don't drive. They never got a driver's license, so their ID is a passport.
I'm actually typing them in. Are passports valid in place?
If you live near public transport, you don't need a driver's license.
Real ID. Yeah, but you can get an ID card.
You can, yeah. But I'm just saying, as a backup, if you get screwed until you can get your situation going.
So I've never had a passport, actually. Yes, a valid passport says an acceptable alternative to real ID for boarding domestic flights only and accessing federal facilities starting May 7th. Okay. If you have a passport, you will not need to obtain a real ID compliant license or state to travel domestically.
There you go. I never needed any other ID to get to Mexico or Canada either. So passport was fine. Sometimes I would even just go to Mexico on a birth certificate. So
wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
I've been
the illegal slipping in and out of Mexico my whole life, working there. So sorry. So
don't be sorry. Hey, it worked, right? And you got to work. So that's awesome. Well, that's good. Now we know that too, for sure.
Yes.
So,
just want to give people a heads up. I've been fighting with my pool all week long. So I posted some videos about it right on Instagram and Facebook. There's this scuzzy ass. It looks like almost a gasoline type of rubbery film across the top, and then foam everywhere. And I cannot figure out what's going on. So, the conspiracy theorist in me, my hat, thinks. My friend Derek, he texts me the same day. He goes, they started spraying again. Florida's supposed to ban chemtrails. It's crazy how many people don't believe geoengineering and chemtrails exist. But we had clear skies for a while. DeSantis goes, let's ban chemtrails. I think they preemptively go, uh-oh. So we're clear. We also haven't had rain for like a month. So all of a sudden, the day that they started spraying, I've got this film across my pool and the bird bath. So as soon as what?
I was going to say, what kind of chemtrails are what's above in the sky, but the other type of spraying is right down your street.
Right. So it was just a coincidence that they're spraying the grid and the zigzags all over the sky at the same time. I'm sure it's high coincidence anyway. So yeah, there's shit all over my pool, and I cannot get it clean no matter what I do. So I can't get the foam flecks out of it. This has only started about a year ago, and then I got it clean, and then it was gone, and then it's back again. It's worse than ever. So I post a thing about it, and here's the thing that I put it up, and this is what cracks me up. Again, it becomes political. This is not a political thing. Everybody makes everything political. Right away, all my friends that are on the left, they're like, there's no chemtrails. Your pool pH is off. You have to stop doing it yourself. hire someone to do it. And I'm like,
Oh,
all right,
okay.
it's good advice.
Mhm.
But I think I can do my pool myself and save myself X amount of dollars a month. I can test the waters. I've got the water testing kit. I went out there. I took my friend's advice. I added the calcium, added all the stuff, added the calcium again the next night, did the whole thing. But I said, if it's the pH levels and everything, why isn't my bird bath as well, which is across the yard?
Mm,
No answer.
good question.
So I called the code enforcement of the city and I said, hey, is there anything going on as far as spraying? They're like, oh yeah. They said the county's been spraying overhead. The helicopters you're hearing, we're doing a massive sprays for mosquitoes. And I said, when? They're like, oh, we're doing that. We've been doing it this week. They said, we have dengue virus. 3 people in this county tested positive for dengue virus. So how it spreads is there's a 2-week incubation period. So it can spread by a mosquito biting someone who has it and then biting other people. So just like that, you can go from, it can just be all over the place. So they've been spraying like crazy. And I said, well, it's not working because I still have mosquitoes and now I have a mess in my pool. You're making a mess. So they're like, well, call the county. So I called the county and I said, can you take my area off your list? They're like, no, sorry, we can't.
Right.
I'm like, but you're decimating my pool and it's very expensive to have a pool and I cannot use it. They're like, oh, it's totally safe. It's safe for animals and people. I said, I'm still going to send you pictures. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Would you let your child swim in this? They're like, it's safe. I'm like, I've heard that before recently. And effective.
No. Yeah, right. No.
I'm not swimming in that. Yeah,
Yep.
I spend a lot of money keeping up this pool. I did not know it was like that when I got a house with a pool. If I had known that this would be a money pit, I would have opted to not get a house with a pool. So for all of you who want a pool, just know that you're getting into a serious money pit that has year-round maintenance. Nobody told me.
May I comment on your stuff in the pool?
Oh, please do.
So as the same day that you were complaining about it, our trucks where I live were riding around spraying. You can't miss them here. They're loud. They're coming down the street. I'm sorry, I'm just moving something.
It's okay.
And when I came out the next morning, I think this was Wednesday morning? Yeah. Anyway, my car was covered in a film.
In ick.
Now, a lot of times, ick. A lot of times when I come out, it'll be pollen from the day before, the moisture, the fog, whatever. This was.
I'm gonna play this while you're talking. Keep talking.
Oh yeah, you can see the film. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. When you were talking about the flu, I know it's going around in my county also, but I really honestly think that once dengue was starting to be detected or used in the public eye, you can see all the gross stuff there.
Look at
that. That's when it seems like the mosquito spraying changed. It smells different when they spray. If I hear it coming, my windows are open. I shut my windows. I hear that truck a mile away. Huh?
Look.
Yeah, I see.
And then the next day, we don't have that. I don't have that warning, I guess. They do it by helicopter here. They drop
Well, they do a helicopter here too. But in my area, they tend to spray with the trucks. And, it's a big generator type sound you hear coming down the road.
And that's the day after. That's just foam everywhere. It's all over.
I guess my point of saying is I wonder if the last couple of years they're putting an additive that they didn't used to before. Because I don't remember you going through this until the last couple of years either.
I didn't go through it until last summer. This is the first time I ever dealt with that.
Oh, it ended. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first time I dealt with that. So there's something weird about what's going on with it now.
So I would wonder if we could find a way to do some research about that. And
I don't know. I
there may
asked them
have
what the ingredients were and they didn't tell me. I'm like, it was safe. What's the ingredients? And he wouldn't tell me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you actually make me wonder. I wonder if I can.
It's a
I
freedom
wonder
of
if I call
information.
mine. I wonder if I call my mosquito control up here.
I don't know. Would it be the same as mine?
No, it's different. I live in a different county.
Yeah.
Oh, as the ingredients, I would imagine it is. It's probably whatever is being used in the last couple of years
Yeah.
to stop the spread of this dengue fever,
Dengue.
or bird flu,
And
or
Zika.
measles,
Dengue, Zika.
or
Right. Yeah.
whatever they want to say it is.
So, so they told me that they put a film over everything so that it covers in the water. So it's especially around the creeks and stuff, because I live near a creek. So the film covers all the water so the larva can't come up through. I'm like, well, you did a good fucking job.
Yeah, I have creeks right behind me here too, so it wouldn't surprise
I
me.
think you did a great job. And I said, I appreciate all your effort. I really, really do. I said, we have so many mosquitoes here, but take my house off your list.
Well, why
Please.
not go back to dropping the tablets that they used to? Even
That's
just a
what
couple
they
years
said.
ago,
They
they
said
were
they're
dropping
doing
tablets.
pellets. They told me they'd only do pellets. I'm like, this is
That's
not
bullshit.
right. I know.
Sorry, I said that out loud.
It's
But
true.
they're
They're
I've seen
lying
them
about
spray.
everything. They're lying
Yeah.
about everything.
I've seen those helicopters going. We have them here too, and the helicopters tend to drop pellets, but there's planes that drop the spray. They're low flying planes that drop the mosquito spray, and then they have the mosquito trucks. You guys have them down there in
So
the
what if your
trucks. just
pets
like we
are
do.
outside? What if you're outside? Are you getting sprayed?
I used to bring mine in.
Yeah.
So anytime just because it stunk. I remember as a kid, we were like, "Oh, run! The mosquito truck's coming!" Now it's like, "Oh my God, this thing might kill me." So yeah, I go inside. I don't know what's in it anymore. It's different than when we were kids,
Yeah.
So now I don't trust anybody.
I don't trust
And I'm also
anybody or
older.
anything anymore. I don't. I
Yeah.
really don't.
I don't.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry about your pool.
All
I
right.
hope
It's
it gets
91
better.
degrees here. I want to use it.
Yeah.
Tons.
That just reminded me.
Sorry, that just
Right,
came
on
out.
that.
Just
No, that's
Tourette's.
yay.
It was my Tourette's. Oh, speaking of,
Speaking of Tourette's.
no, I posted this earlier. One of my friends / fans said I should make this a weekly segment. You might be a cunt if. So
Is this part of the Reds rants now?
it may be you might be a cunt if you are driving the speed limit in the left lane and refuse to move over because that's a passing lane that's illegal. So you might be a cunt if this week is featuring you might be that if you oppose more research into autism simply because RFK Jr. suggested it. So this is an epidemic. The epidemic is defined by an enormous amount of people having it. There are 3 definitions of epidemic. So yes, this is an epidemic. So don't get offended. And you are an asshole if you oppose it, because autism is one of the most expensive disorders, neurological issues, whatever you prefer to call it, because we don't know what it is exactly. We don't know what causes it. So it's really hard to define it exactly at this point. So if this is one of the most expensive neurological disorders in existence, so why wouldn't you want to know what causes it so future children don't get it?
I'm with you.
I mean, at one point, Agent Orange was sprayed everywhere. And then we questioned the science because it was making people really, really sick and it was causing all kinds of issues with children. And now children don't have these issues anymore because we stopped that. So maybe we should go back to questioning the science and checking things. Now, personally, I don't think this is vaccine related. I know that's shocking to people as anti-vaccine as I have been over the COVID stuff. I've had every jab in the world, including all the flu shots up until this last one. But I know my mom she passed away, but she was a high functioning autistic. She had Asperger's syndrome. She was born in 1946. She had the bare minimum vaccinations. This existed before. at a lesser extent. But it's not like it was. It wasn't even in my generation. There was barely anybody that had autism. Granted, they didn't diagnose it.
Right.
It went from, oh, that kid is a little bit weird to, okay, this person's full retard. That's what it was back then. And
oh yeah,
I'm just being honest. Now, in my mom's case, the state came to my grandmother when she was 4 years old, deemed her retarded. I'm just saying the word that they used. Don't get your titty in a ringer. That's what they said. And they wanted to take her and put her in a home. And my grandmother said, no. So my mom lived her life with my grandmother. She was not officially diagnosed until much, much later, much into her middle-age years, because that diagnosis really didn't exist until much later. So, and I guess they're not even using Asperger's anymore. They're just saying high functioning. So on the spectrum.
Okay. I didn't know that part, but all right.
Yeah, ASD is a tremendous spectrum, and she was just a higher functioning at the other end of it, more or less.
Wonder why they changed it. Go ahead.
They're always changing everything. They figured that we were too dumb to understand manic depressive, so they changed it to bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
So this existed before we went to 757 vaccinations for the children these days. Do I think that's too much? Do I think it's ridiculous? Do I think it's for big pharma for profit? Do I think it causes ADHD? Yes. I don't think children need these many vaccinations. I think when we made it so vaccine companies have no liability whatsoever, in the late 80s, they went nuts and they said, let's give the kids everything. We'll make money and nobody can sue us. Ding, 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 ding. But if you look at, if we need all these vaccinations and they're so important, why do previous generations not have epidemics, issues, autistics, or ADHD? For example, Generation X. Gen X had almost no autism. You have the occasional, but almost no autism. Very little ADHD. Very few vaccines, except what was required. We only had a couple.
Right.
And everybody's fine. We had no epidemics. So
I think, like you said before too, I think it was always there and not as prevalent, but also too, you hit it on the nose by putting those kids in a home. So they were different.
My point. Yes.
So they put them in homes. They did not procreate. They did not have children.
Yep.
And the genetics stopped right there.
That was my exact point. I was getting to is only 3 generations ago did we start procreating with people who have autism.
Right.
Previous to that, we put them in state-funded homes. Previous to that, they were left on the side of a cliff.
Exactly.
Or exterminated. So, and I'm again, sorry, I'm saying. And
they stayed with the parents and never left and never had a life to procreate. Basically.
Exactly. So if you look at, this is when I started realizing this could be a very strong hereditary genetic, like brown eyes, brown hair. Autism could be an extremely strong hereditary genetic. So I, as you know, I do a lot of vaccine research. So I look at the countries that have the lowest autism rates, and they coincide with the lowest child vaccination rates. We're totally getting kicked off YouTube this week. So, but this is true. This is all true. Yeah. YouTube, give me a minute here. All right. So there is correlation there. The lowest vaccine schedule for children also coincides with the lowest autism rates in those countries, which is like Poland, China, Eastern Europe. So you might go, okay, well, obviously there's a thing there, and it could be. But what else happened? with those countries. They had the highest extermination rate for people who were Jewish, disabled, of color, especially during World War II. So over 60,000 disabled and people with disabilities, learning disabilities, all of that were exterminated. So it wasn't just Jewish people during World War II. They got rid of everybody. So, and this was that area that has that low prevalence of autism. So correlation is not necessarily causation in this particular case. And as you and all my friends know, you guys think I'm on the spectrum too. High function.
No, not at all.
So could that have come from my mother? Sure. Could that have been passed to me? Of course. I don't ever talk about it, but we're talking about it now. So it fits for this particular show.
Right.
So it could have been.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, I'm weird. There's a lot of weird things. There's a lot of stuff.
And nowadays you got to define weird.
Right.
So.
There's a lot of things, and people who know me know that there's things. So, there are just things that just don't add up to a neurotypical situation here. But yeah, my mom, I think that the research, long story short, I think the research should be done, because I wouldn't want, I wouldn't be here. They would leave me under a tree or throw me to the lions. You know what I mean? It's
sure,
whatever. I'd come back again as another soul. It's cool. But I think that it doesn't help when it's such a costly disorder, epidemic, however you want to call it. Let's not get offended over it. Let's just say that it's a costly situation. If it can be avoided, we still don't know what causes it. So finding out what causes it to help future parents, to help future children not have this is beneficial to everyone. So to oppose that simply because some worm brain Kennedy, as somebody called it, the worm for brains. I don't know where this ever came from. Where did this ever come from? Somebody said it. I know they made that up and it just stuck. This is where propaganda sticks. Napoleon wasn't short either, but that's carried on for a while. Yeah, somebody suggested it who people don't align with, and now they push back against it. I think that makes you an asshole.
Good. Yes, they absolutely need to shut their mouth. Shut their hole.
Shut up and let the research happen. And I mean, there's been a lot of research, apparently. There's been apparently a lot of research, but I guess not enough to figure out what causes it and how to avoid it.
So before we get off the subject, if you don't mind, I did look up the question of, is Asperger's still a term? And I did get an answer for that. So, and it is what you were saying, yes. It says, no, Asperger's syndrome is no longer a recognized medical diagnosis. In 13, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders removed Asperger's syndrome as a separate diagnosis and classified it under autism spectrum disorder, ASD, like you said. This change was made to reflect the understanding that Asperger's is a milder form of autism and that the symptoms and challenges experienced by individuals with Asperger's fall within the broader spectrum of ASD. It's still used by some individuals and advocacy, some groups, and it is not accurate medical term. It should not be used in a clinical context.
Well, I don't know,
but
it's nice if you're an Aspie, you meet another Aspie.
Yeah, like
it's like I'm an Aspie. I'm an Aspie too,
Yeah, I've talked about the kid at work.
Try and take all the fun out of everything.
He's proud.
Yes. Yeah, proud Aspies. So it's like they take the fun out of everything.
Yeah. So anyway, just thought I'd say that. Yes.
Suck
right.
the fun out of life. Don't let them suck the fun out of your life.
No. Let anybody suck it out of your life.
No.
So there's nothing wrong with it. Why do they have to label everything also? Why can't somebody just be a person and without all these labels and diagnosis and BS?
That's why I don't talk about stuff.
Yeah, big pharma, everybody gets involved. All of a sudden, they want to shove shit down your throat.
That's it. That's why I don't talk
Why
about
not just,
anything.
have Tourette's?
I'm not my labels.
Everybody has Tourette's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not my labels. My labels are part of who I am, but that's not me. There's a whole thing.
It doesn't
here.
define you.
No.
Yes. You know what defines you is your slutty shirt. You're not wearing one.
I know. I'm sorry. It does, but I'm wearing the dress today, so I went out to lunch. Not a slutty shirt. And I know. Next week.
Okay. BRV is going to absolutely love that.
Do it next week. Speaking of lunch, I'm seeing this thing everywhere about tipping culture. So tipping culture out of hand. Yes, sure. I think we could all agree. So when they switched over to all these cash point things, right? Anything in a service industry, whether you're scooping ice cream or at a hair salon, automatically included a tip. And I think there's like a social pressure there where people feel, because you have to click through that screen to do a tip. And I think people feel social pressure to tip when they get a muffin handed to them. You don't, it's okay. You don't have to tip. If you order your food standing up and somebody brings it to you and you're still standing up, you don't have to tip. So if your food is literally not brought to you at a table or to your home, you don't have to tip. It's your option, but don't feel obligated. So like if you order a bottle of water or a coffee or a muffin or an ice cream and you have to click through the tip screen, don't add anything if you don't want to, because it's just the way they set the whole thing up to make it easier for the service industry. Do not feel like you have to tip.
Here's a question for that.
You're bleeding.
So you're buying bleeding. That bottle of water.
Yeah.
And you accidentally hit tip and you pay another 5%, 10%, whatever it is for the bottle of water. Where does that go? It's a corporate company. Where does that go? It doesn't go to the employee. I can guarantee you that. Why would it go to the employee for collecting a tip on an electronic device?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. I know there's a big thing with was it Uber Eats or Uber with that, where the tips weren't going to the drivers?
Correct. And in service industries, let's say a restaurant, generally it's put into a pot. You get so much of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the bar back gets some, the bartender gets some.
I understand all that.
The food runner gets part of that. So whatever the percentage is, that's not what the servers get. We used to get all of it. And then I used to do it. I would serve and then also bartended. So, and then we would tip out our bar backs and our bartenders.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Long day.
Okay. I know it's later.
No, it's just a long day.
Yeah. So I'm not sure they do that anymore. I think they just throw everything in there and they also take out a 3% credit card fee on top of that.
So is that it's obviously going to line pockets in a lot of cases. So if you're not being served at a table, like you said, then
or food brought to your house.
Right. I would not do it. And if you can pay them cash, pay them cash. You can hit no and then give them cash. And they get the 100%, or at least a better portion possible.
Cash is king. Everybody
support
cash.
Local.
I was gonna say that's like my favorite when you go through a corporate situation like Target or Walmart or Publix or anything, and at the end it's like, would you like to donate after your bill's $280 for groceries and you have 3 bags? Would you like to donate to some fund? It's like, you are a motherfucking corporation. I think I'll say no here. You donate. Exactly. I just donated. I just paid this much for my groceries. Fuck you. You have the audacity to ask me. You get the tax write-off. Fuck you. Yeah, but I was going to say, somebody said that there's like servers posting that you're supposed to do 30% for a tip now on a restaurant bill.
When did that change?
It didn't. That's just
Okay.
20%. It was 15, then 18. It's still 18. 20%
Right.
is decent. So
It's not 18 everywhere anyway, but even still, a good
Yeah.
server, 20% I think is fair when you
Yeah.
have a good server,
Yeah. So if you take the first number, you double it. If the next number is 4, 5, or above, you can add that. So you have a $25 bill. First number is 2. Now it's 4. The second number is 5. You add 1, so it's $5 tip. If you feel she did an amazing job, feel free to add to that, but it is not required.
Right.
And I say this as
Absolutely.
somebody who has been a server on and off my entire life. So I'm
Well,
seeing
I hope
the 30% thing out there, and I'm like, yeah, no.
No, because again,
That's going to make
if you're
people not want
truly
to eat
getting
out
it, yeah. I mean, I already don't want to eat out. I don't want to not eat out because of the tip
because the
situation.
food sucks.
Yeah, generally does all the time,
It's
everywhere.
overpriced and it sucks.
So you get a better chance of going to a mom and pop at least.
Yeah.
And don't forget to review them. We're talking
Yes,
about that too.
yes. And my cooking is so good that restaurant cooking sucks.
All right, I can see that.
But it's
Your
true
cooking is
though.
very
It's
good.
true though. I'm an amateur chef, and when I go out to eat, I expect the food to be decent for what we're paying. And if the food is not decent, and I could have cleaned up and done 10 times better, I'm just like, would you?
Yeah.
You paid $100 for Easter ham. You came over to my house. You're like, your ham's better.
Oh, way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, there's lots I can say about that. Yes.
Crock pot.
Well, that actually
Brown
was really
sugar,
but
maple
now,
syrup, half a cup of water.
yeah, I always put maple syrup in mine anyway when I make ham.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it gives it a really good flavor instead of using brown sugar. But I've always done that. Like I have a slab of ham, that I buy once in a while just for backup food. And I'll cook it. I'll actually heat it up in a little bit of butter and garlic in a pan
Hell yeah.
and add the maple syrup on it and stuff. And all I'm doing is slightly warming it. I don't want to overcook it. So, but anyway, yes, don't forget garlic.
I would for everything not ham. I don't think I like.
And I have with the ham, with the garlic and the butter in the pan. When you do it, different with the way you were cooking it. But I mean, mine already wasn't like a spiraled ham or anything. I'm just talking about like a ham slab.
Oh, okay.
I'll put like a quarter in the pan and do that. So anyway, back to you.
Okay. So I have this amazing book called Life Hacks.
Cool.
And there's some really cool stuff in here. So one of them is if spam texts are bothering you, and people might know this, I didn't know this, forward them to the number 7726 and your carrier will reply asking for the number it came from to help stop spam. So
I'm going to be doing that a lot.
Yeah, so it's forward the spams to 7726 and you can help stop spam.
I did look it up and I did see quite a few carriers mentioning it. That's a legit thing. So.
That's cool. I had no idea.
Me either.
If a taxi or Uber driver asks if you're, quote, from around here, always say yes.
Mm-hmm.
That way they're not going to drive further or, yep, exactly. Yep, exactly.
You don't know your way around.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how many times that actually happened in taxis, before there was Ubers and GPS and stuff.
They're still out there. Yeah, they're still out there. I see them at airports and I see them in major cities.
Mm-hmm.
Grocery stores stack their products by the sell-by date, which means the oldest food is in the front. So always grab your food from the back.
I do that. Oh, here's another thing about that real quick on that hack right there. A lot of them, so they're putting stuff on the shelves and making the shelves look empty right now in the grocery stores.
I saw that.
Like the meat products and stuff. That's bullshit because I know people that work a lot of these things in the meat departments.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process that Publix started recently, and then when Dixie and everybody else is now following, so if they have a steaks on sale, they're sticking out only 5 steaks instead of filling the shelf with 10 normally. They're keeping the 5 in the back, so you think it's going to run out of product
to create that mentality.
Yes,
that lockdown toilet paper mentality.
Yeah, and you can't buy the newer stuff in the back because they stick the date stuff up front, the dated issue. It's already out there. You have no choice. So yeah, be aware. You can always ask the butcher, "Can I get a fresh one, please?"
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like it. Studies have shown that gasoline expands and contracts by 1% for every 15 degrees the temperature changes. It tends to be cooler in the morning or at night, later at night, which means that the gas is more contracted and you're getting more volume per dollar than when it's warmer in the afternoon. So if you're like me, I like to go drive at midnight and go fill up my car at the gas station across the street or whatever, instead of dealing with it during the day.
Nice. Okay.
Get more for your money.
Like
apparently you can ask your local pizza place. Does that still work?
what?
If they have any orders that people didn't pick up, they'll usually let you have them at a discounted price. Does that still work? No, it's a book, so it might be outdated.
I've not heard of that, but I would imagine it depends on if it's a local mom pop.
Interesting.
Because big chains, no, it's time stamped and you have to throw it out. On
Yeah,
chains, it's a
the
waste of food.
lawsuits and all that. They waste so much food.
Oh my God, yes.
Because of lawsuits. Okay, here's an interesting one. By peeing in the shower, you can save about 1,157 gallons of water each year, because it's 2 gallons of water every time you flush.
Okay, so on the average person takes 365 showers, right? Calculated. There's
maybe, depending on. Are you talking? I mean,
well, if a person showers every,
we all know people that have taken, that take about 56 showers a year.
Yeah. All right. So 365, let's say, showers times 1 gallon. Where are they getting that figure from? If you pee in the shower, you're only peeing once. Oh, 2 gallons, right?
What are you talking about?
Okay, so
when you flush the toilet,
right,
you're
it's
wasting
2 gallons,
2
right?
gallons of water.
So if you pee in the shower and you take 1 shower a day, that means you're saving 2 gallons per person per day. 2 gallons of water by peeing in the shower, so you're not flushing at one time.
Right.
So that's 365 days a year times 2 gallons. That is not equal what you're saying.
No, you're right, actually. Yeah, you're right.
So that equals 730 if you're that person who showers every day.
But we're on, well, I'll bet you they weren't on water-saving toilets back when they wrote this book.
Okay, that's possible, yeah.
Yeah, because it used to be more water than that.
All right, that's what I was getting at. I was like, if they shower every
day. you gotta factor in all the water that they used to throw down the.
So, but still, it's a good idea. Do it anyway.
I remember my friend thinking that was so gross. She swore she never peed in the shower, and she thought that was the most disgusting thing ever.
I think people just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I always said there's 2 types of people: those who pee in the shower, and those who lie about peeing in the shower.
I think most people apply to the lie about peeing in the shower. What's the big deal? I don't understand what the big deal is.
I don't get it.
So,
I don't get
it.
If you stand up too fast and start to kind of get dizzy or black out, tighten your abs as hard as you can. And that stops it. I didn't know that.
I guess I'll have to try that during work every day. That's a good idea. I'll try that. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah. If you hate getting squeaky, wobbly, or bumpy carts at the grocery store, try grabbing one from the parking lot instead before you enter. People usually ditch the bad ones inside, so it gives you a chance to test it out before you start shopping.
I totally knew where you were going to that. That's great.
They keep the good ones, so they use them.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so that person who didn't return their cart, take their cart.
What if it's an Aldi and you got the quarters? You're stuck.
I always do the thing with the Aldi people. Like I'll either offer them a quarter to return their cart for them. So I'll be like, hey, you want to trade? I'll give you a quarter for your cart. And sometimes they're like, well, somebody just gave me this cart so you can have it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah. My whole day.
I know. It's funny how excited you get over a quarter in a cart.
Over a freaking cart, right?
I know, right?
I don't
a
have
quarter and a cart.
It's the dumbest thing, like that.
But it's a win.
No, you know what
exactly.
it is? It's somebody being nice.
Yeah,
it's more than the quarter in the cart. It's somebody going, here, take something. It's like a giving, energetic moment that's like, oh, okay, thank you.
Now, mind you, if I see somebody in a regular store doing that, they're done with their cart, I'll ask them, hey, are you done? I'll take that for you. I'll do that, and use it. So, and occasionally you might get the person who'll say, no, it's got a bad wheel.
Oh, okay.
You don't want this one.
Okay. Plant trees to save energy costs. Plant deciduous trees on the southern and western sides of your home. They'll provide needed shade in the summer and winter, and in winter allow the sun to shine through. Or in Florida, just cover your house in trees.
There's that.
Cover your house in trees. Yeah, the kind that bend, not break. So big palm trees or whatever.
Right, shade. Yeah. I like that.
No, I like that one too. I'm double fisting right here. Oh, I dropped something.
Oops.
Sorry, puppy.
Right on Max.
Yeah. What else we got here? All right. 10 tips for surviving the zombie apocalypse.
Cool. I can't wait. Go.
All right. Always have a solid pair of running shoes on. You never know when you're going to have to start to run next. Number 1. Number 2, go to Costco. These warehouse stores have large cement walls, an endless supply of food, and you have to have a membership card to get in. Number 3, everyone knows a zombie's weakness is its head, so make sure you have a good head smasher like a bat or some kind of a club.
Yep.
Number 4, only use guns in desperate situations. Noise is what attracts zombies. Guns are like dinner bells to them. I mean, this is common sense, but obviously, most people don't have common sense these days, so we'll state the obvious. I learned something today. I learned that you can open carry. You can have your gun, because I saw a sign that said no firearms in the gym. And then I realized technically they can't ask that because it's Florida. Right. And you can bring your firearm and openly bring your firearm everywhere, even to your place of work. So, which was interesting. Okay, wear a bandana over your face. Thousands of zombies roaming the earth isn't going to smell good. Plus, the humans that do survive probably aren't going to smell good either.
Yeah, they don't talk about that on those shows, do they?
Yeah.
The Walking Dead. Ooh, they must be right. Okay. How did that go?
I'm good because I currently have deodorant, but I would imagine in the future that would not be a thing if we had a zombie apocalypse.
Right.
Wearing thick clothing can quite possibly save you from being bitten and turning. So consider some plastic sheeting. I don't know. Get inside safe, large walls. Like in The Walking Dead, a prison can be a great place to start. Always have some energy or granola bars available. Food is going to be hard to find. Chances are your local grocery stores are going to get raided. Plus, you never know when you're going to need a burst of energy. AKA see the running shoes on part 1. Never go to the hospital. Although they have medical supplies that will help your endeavor, they're usually where the outbreak starts and thus are usually the most infested places. I'm just going to add never go to the hospital, period, end.
Yep.
It's usually where you're going to get sick. So just avoid hospitals. It's like if you get sick, the hospital is the last place you want to go because you're probably not going to get well there.
Right.
Look into another option, like a wellness practitioner, or a holistic or something, a voodoo doctor. You have a better chance. And lastly, avoid grouping with children, pregnant women, and fat people. It says this.
Well, zombie apocalypse.
Instead, try to befriend doctors, athletes, and scientists. This will greatly improve your chance of survival. I don't know, man. I think that if you have a child, pregnant woman, or a fat person, they might take the fall for you back there, thus letting you get away.
Well, there's that. So if you want to have a group that survives, then do the other. Right. They didn't say anything about having a machete or something either.
If a zombie apocalypse happens, I'm tripping you first.
Bitch, better run. Oh, man. Here's the other thing, too. Instead of, I'm just going to throw this out there. So you got the pregnant woman, right? Or the slower person, or the fat lady like myself, fat chick. Now, some fat chick can run. You might be surprised. But, so whichever way they go, you stay in front of them no matter what. Don't split up. Because, again, they'll get eaten first. So then you'll be free.
I'm pretty sure you would be tastier than I would. I'd probably be tough and chewy.
I don't know. It might be the fat on me if they roast me well.
That's what I mean. You might be succulent.
So that means I'm going to die first anyway. So fuck off.
You'd be like a tender ribeye steak, and I'd be like that chewy round steak. You know.
Yeah, well, you can only run for so long. Eventually, you're going to peter out too.
I can't run at all. Like people are like, "Oh, you go running?" I'm like, if a fucking zombie's chasing me, sure, that's it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like
if I have to sprint, I'm just fuck that. I just don't go.
Yeah, between the injuries and asthma, like I have to really want to run, and then I can do it. But it's got to be I have to commit, you know. It's got to be a reason to commit.
It's got to be. I have no other way to survive but run.
Right? There's something chasing me. Am I trying to kill you? Mm-hmm. Like those are did my dog go down the street? Those are really the only reasons.
Yeah, the dog. I would do that for a dog.
Yeah. Oh, mine ran out the door. Freaking Derek let him out. So do you know what happened? Is I tried this trick that I heard works, and it worked. Thank God. So Loki's running down the thing. He goes barreling towards the main street. I'm like, oh my God. Derek, my neighbor, all stoned. He's like, man, it's chill. It's cool, man. I'm like, oh my God, get out of the way. So I start running after him. Loki thinks it's a game. He takes off. We're having fun, right? I'm like, oh my God, I'm barefoot in boxer shorts and a t-shirt, no bra, tits are flipping everywhere. You know, I'm like, this is not fun. I am barefoot. I run like this. So I did the thing that they say to do: pretend you get hurt. So I grab my leg and I drop into someone's yard. I'm like, oh, like this. He stopped. Turned around. He saw me. And he comes running back, and he comes running to me, starts licking my face. And I'm like, oh, thank God it did work. Cause it was like, I was taking a gamble. I'm like, he's going to, I'm not going to catch him. So I'm going to try this thing that I heard you're supposed to try. And if it does not work, he is heading towards the road. So it worked. So
I wish I would have known that when my dog got out years back. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is a great thing to know. That's a life hack right there.
You gotta really work it though. You gotta be like, oh my God, you gotta do the whole thing. And then Derek's standing over me going, what are you doing? And I'm like, pretend like I'm hurt, man. I'm just like, pretend like you care.
I know when mine got out that time, the faster I walked, the faster she went. I'm like, no. I slowed down, and she was just like she knew the pace I was behind her with. I'm like,
that's what he was doing.
And so eventually she stopped at the stop sign and was like, what?
Yeah, little bastard.
Yep. Anyway, that was a great life hack right there.
Yeah, and I also wanted to say, for a fitness tip, coffee is your friend. It's a long-term test. I see a lot of people going, oh, I'm giving up caffeine. Like, why? So coffee is long-term tested. It can help with weight management. It helps obviously with energy. It helps with it helps with obviously I haven't had any in a while at this point. Helps with cognitive cognitive stuff that I don't have right now. It helps with a lot of things. And if it's usually hot brewed, it's also quite a few antioxidants in there.
Yeah, what's bad is what you put in your coffee sometimes.
That depends.
Sometimes
bad,
that's
like I mean, some people, jury's out. I put heavy cream in mine. I love heavy cream. I love honey in my coffee too. And I love a dash of the flavor stuff that you shouldn't do, but I do anyway, like the coffee meat. Like, I know that's terrible stuff, but
well, some people that's all they have, a
doing
little
it.
bit of coffee.
I'm doing it. I do the 80-20. As long as you do good 80% of the time, the other 20% of the time you can do whatever, and I can have my coffee mate. Don't judge me. So don't judge me, you people. Yeah, I need my salted dark chocolate and my little bit of my coffee flavor there. But energy drinks, let's talk about those. I don't recommend those, not at all. I know a lot of people are addicted to energy drinks. So when I'm traveling in other countries, a lot of countries have outlawed energy drinks for anybody under 18. So I remember Red Bull was completely illegal. I don't know if it still is. It was completely illegal in France. So it was a big deal in Germany. So we were smuggling Red Bulls in because we were driving from Germany down. We were taking the Autobahn down to Paris, and we were smuggling in Red Bulls because it was like we were pulling all-nighters to work, and we didn't know if we were going to be able to get any coffee. Wow. And I hate Red Bull. I hate it, but that's what we had available at that point. But I would not recommend energy drinks. A lot of them have all kinds of issues that lead to heart problems, all kinds of cardio problems. I mean, there's even been death, quite a few deaths associated with energy drinks. So I would stick with coffee, and
there's natural energy too, like the caffeine.
Hundreds of years tested coffee, right? Since of mid 1700s, 1800s.
Probably before that, for all we know. Yeah.
No, I think it didn't happen until I want to say 1800s. Before that, it was just tea. So I'm gonna I would say early 1800s.
All right, when was coffee invented? Here it is. Oh, way earlier than that.
Was it?
Yes, as coffee's history as a drink rather than just a food item is believed to have begun in the 15th century.
Oh, see, that is some long-term tested stuff right there.
Yeah, originating in Yemen.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yemen, you mean?
Yes,
Yemen?
sorry.
Yemen? I don't know. Oh, it's not a thing I say every day.
No, I'm sure I butchered that. My apologies.
It's okay. I love when you butcher things. It's fun. I might be butchering it too. Maybe it is Yemen. I don't know.
But I don't want to offend any viewers or people they know. So
we just talked about autism and everything else, and you might be a cunt if. I think we're past the offensive part at this point.
Yes.
We have the strongest, smartest people who have the thickest skin who are here because they appreciate brutal, blunt honesty and opinions. So, and sometimes we're wrong. If we're, we always say, do your own research. Don't always take our word for it. Double check everything. So
I just blame it on an accent.
There you go.
Tourette's. All right.
Oh my God, I just flipped open to the thing. When your dog gets out, don't chase it. Lie down and pretend you're hurt. They'll always come back to see if you're okay. I just opened to that one. I must have gotten it from here. Okay. Oh my God. I'm not reading that one.
It can't be any worse than something I did today. What you got?
Okay. If you have painful gas, lie on your back and lift your knees to your chest. You'll pass it right out.
Yeah, and pat somebody else out too.
Yeah. You could also pat your stomach to break it up.
I think I've heard that, rubbing the stomach or whatever, something like that. But, wow. Okay. So yeah, don't encourage kids to do that.
I know, right? If you fall asleep within 5 minutes of going to bed, it's an indication that you're extremely sleep deprived. What about all the people who fall asleep on the sofa while watching TV?
I was like, okay, define all that. I'm lucky I get any. Yes, I'm sleep deprived. I'll admit that's accurate. Well, I want to know if you fall asleep. Does it matter? Does it mean something different if you start to snore right away, or you're in a deep sleep right away? Snoring supposedly is not a deep sleep.
Is it not? Are we? Are we sure about that? Because I would think if you're snoring, you're out.
Let's see.
Huh. Listen, change the lock screen on your phone to a picture of your name and contact information, like an email address or home number. That way, if you lose your phone, the person who finds it can see whose phone it is and get it back to you. That just literally happened when we were over in Safety Harbor. I found somebody's phone sitting on a bench, and I looked around. There's like a group of people. I look on the phone, and it was a picture of two elderly Black people together on a couch. And I look around, and there was only one Black girl over here, and I was like, "Oh my God, did you leave your phone?" She's like, "Oh my God, yes, thank you." I was like,
yeah, I remember that.
Right.
No, I agree with the pictures and stuff like that, but for your personal info, I mean, if you're going to lay it down on a counter while you're
I
cashing
wouldn't
out,
do that. No one would
somebody's
find
going to
mine
get that.
because I have a chicken on mine, and they'd be like, actually, maybe they would look at me and be like, "Oh, okay, that's definitely hers."
Yeah, she looks like a chicken lady.
Yeah, that's what they'd see with mine. Ginger.
Fine.
They might put two and two together.
Yeah, I change mine all the time. Of course, you can never see. I got flowers on there right now.
Yeah, I never change mine. So
I do. It just depends on my mood.
So, and speaking of, I wanted to give a shout out to War Demon, who has been one of our legacy members here, or one of our legacy listeners, watchers, however you want to say it. Yeah, Chris has set up our what is that thing called? Yeah, sorry. Discord for us. And he recently had his Diego, his kitty cat, pass away.
Oh my goodness!
And it was very, very sudden, and my heart is absolutely, it's breaking for him. So,
Chris, I'm sorry.
Diego's been with him for a really, really long time, and I just wanted to say I'm really, really sorry. So,
sorry, Chris.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. There's a theory that our pets choose us. So, if that's really the case, yeah, I do. I think so too. So, it's good. It's good that you gave him such an amazing home, an amazing life. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that. So
yeah, it sucks losing a pet. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, soul crushing.
It is.
I saw this video that said that and you guys might relate to this too. Let me find it real quick. Because I sent it to somebody who's going through grief. It said that grief is actually scientifically neurological. And I'm going to get this wrong, and if you want to delve into a little bit more, you should. But it's saying that the reason we feel so much, so deeply, and it's so hard, is because we have these neurological ties to this person or this animal or this, and all of a sudden they're gone. And our brain and our synapses can't catch up right away with it. That's why you get the feeling, oh, I want to call them. Or, oh, maybe they'll come around the corner. Like you go around the corner and you expect to see your dog, your cat, or your mom walking around the corner. Neurologically, your brain can't catch up with the reality that your loved one is not in your life anymore. So that's why grief is so difficult. There's a literal scientific reason for it.
Isn't it also just as important to go through the grieving process and not?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And then the more you kind of head into it and really, really feel it, the more you can let your brain catch up with your reality and handle it. And one of the best ways, I always say, one of the best ways to honor the people and the pets that you've loved is to honor them with gratitude instead of grief. So for all the things that you got to do and experience and learn together. So
I like that. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. So that's kind of all I got. I just wanted to share some things. We have it is a pre-taped show. I know I mentioned that because of travel schedules. So if you think we're ignoring you, we are, because it's pre-taped. Not really. And we want to give a shout out to our lovely sponsors, Wolfpack Gold. You can find Wolfpack Gold on aprilhunter.gold. That's not me, that's them. They are an amazing veteran-owned company right here in America, and you don't have to invest very much to invest in precious metals to keep, to ensure that your money is not going to go down. And in fact, it may grow, because gold and silver have been doing very, very well. So, and for as little as $50, you can start buying into precious metals. If you decide to do a recurring buy, you can use the coupon code 1776. Super easy to remember. And they'll send you some free constitutional silver. So that is aprilhunter.gold. And if you're not able to catch up with me anywhere else, you can catch up with me on patreon.com, April Hunter, and aprilhunter.net. We're going to try and get aprilhunter.net up and running again real soon to the fullest extent. So
awesome.
Yes, and April Hunter on X and Real April Hunter on Instagram. So
yep. And YouTube, please, make sure you like on YouTube.
Yes, please like us. Please like me. Please like me. Now, we should have said earlier, if you're lurking, please sign in and please share this.
I know.
Show. It really helps us. It's so weird not doing it in front of an audience, so I forgot. So.
It is. I keep looking for comments and stuff. And
I'll comment. You want me to send you a comment? I'll send you a comment.
Sure.
Eat my shorts. Eat my shorts. Hang on.
Wait,
comments.
It won't let us put one in? No, I can't. It won't let me do it. Maybe you can do it.
Damn it. All right, I'm trying to. Have this drink.
Well, how'd that happen?
I don't know.
Oh, you're in the batters. That's why. I put the drink in there for the birds. That's funny.
Anyway, you can catch Eva D Spirit 1 on all her social medias, which she's doing readings. If you want to have a reading, speaking of light workers, to kind of get back on track or see where things are going for you.
Yes.
There's her number right there, 727-207-5177. Yep.
Say hello.
Yep.
You can find me on any of the social medias too under that name. And I'm sure if you could find April, I'm there somewhere. You'll find me through April too.
Cool. Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. And next week we will have Billy Ray Valentine, BRV. We're going to talk about some really cool metaphysical, spiritual awesomeness and how to recharge the batteries, how to connect, how to do all that. We're going to go a little deeper into that subject, like I've been promising you, and we're actually going to do it. So BRV is going to come on and talk about this topic with us, which is exciting. Awesome. So make sure you're here, and lots of love to you. Lots of love to you.
Oh, she'll be wearing a slutty shirt.
Right, I know. I will do a better shirt next week.
You guys better start, collecting all your bits for them.
Yeah, exactly. So we will see you live next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. And thank you. Bye.